Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, glad to have you here. Today we have a beastmen on Chaos battle. And again, this time we'll be in Steel Faith Overhaul mod. And in this particular battle, we do have the All Tabletop Lords mod enabled. So that allows me to get this amazing Doombull here. Just look at this guy. Just like all angry. Look at him. Look at all those spikes. Wearing a couple other Minotaur heads on his shoulder. It's pretty cool. So definitely a badass, and we'll see him in combat. This does get started off pretty quick with some Warhound action. So just that's why I have it on pause here. You can see I have a main line of mostly Bestigor herds. I knew I was going up against Chaos, so I wanted that armor-piercing damage. And I also wanted to bring some Minotaurs, because I don't usually bring them, and they're a little bit more balanced in this mod. They're a little buffed up. You can see fewer models, though. And so I have these guys supporting the Gore herds here. Just protect the Minotaurs a little bit, and give some armor-piercing damage to this side of my line. You can see I have the same setup over here. I do have another Gorebull who will be coming along with Doombull. I have one Spear Herd on each flank, a Centaur with great weapons, two Ungor Raiders here in the back, again more Spear Herd, because I was definitely afraid of Shaggoths and other large creatures. You can see I have two sets of Warhounds on this side, and I do have a Bray Shaman of Death on his fancy pig chariot over here. And you can see how I placed these guys, actually. I've placed these guys for a reason. You can see Blood Greed, or all his abilities, like he has special stuff in this, like minus leadership, +8 attack, Slaughterer's Call. I've placed him in between two units because it's really only big enough to hit two units. And if I place him here, it'll hit both. And if I place him here where the Minotaurs are, it'll only hit one. So definitely something to be aware of. And you can see my opponent here has a Chaos Warhounds out there deployed. Another one here. Very similar setup to me. Chaos Warriors with great weapons. Chaos Marauders, Chosen Marauders, and Chaos Warriors with great weapons kind of make up that line. And again, these guys do cause terror. So they're pretty terrifying, which is sad that I said that. He also has some halberds on each side, which I think is a good bet against the beastmen, especially in this mod, where Minotaurs and other stuff is more generally applicable. Over here, he does have two units of Chaos Knights, and I believe these are the kind of melee attack versions. And here you can see they do have flaming attacks, and fantastic melee attack and defense stats. So definitely have to watch out for those guys. And he does have a crazy zombie dragon here up in the middle, with a Chaos Lord of Shadows. And you can see Enfeebling Foe, Occam's Mindrazor, a Pit of Shades. And all these abilities have kind of been reworked too, so they're a bit stronger now. You can see Searing Flame, so he actually does reduce my armor, which I did not know about. So pretty terrifying amount of damage there. A lot of hit points. He actually has a Chaos Sorcerer of Death and Shadows. Ooh, let's go take a look at this guy. So he just has Spirit Leech on this guy, and the Life Leeching, which I think is a great pick here. Just definitely helps take out big targets like Gorebull. And then he does have an Exalted Hero here on a Manticore as well, making this a pretty terrifying goon squad. And look, he does have the Mark of Corn, so he will be buffed, kind of like a Frenzy mechanic. So this will get started pretty quick over here on this side. You can see I'm going to get my click in just a little bit faster than him, so I'm going to be able to charge these Warhounds in the back. And I'm going to bring my second unit of Warhounds over here to kind of seal the deal. And I see that he's getting ready to move these guys in, so I'm going to try and intercept here with some of my Centaurs. But then you can see he is, of course, responding with his giant flying goon squad. So once I deal with these guys, I'll be kind of pulling back to my line. I definitely want to run away from that while we kind of decide how we want this engagement to go. Here, I get my first Spirit Leech off. And you can see it's not doing very much damage. Really not taking that much damage. Let's see. What's his magic resistance? So only 25%, or 15%. So should be getting through a lot, but I think it is kind of a little bit weaker in this mod, so it's kind of a little bit more balanced out with some of the other lords, but I'll be constantly spamming that there on this Chaos Sorcerer Lord whenever I can. You can see I am bringing Doombull over. My Spear Herd are getting ready, and he looks like he's wanting to come in here, so I'll give a free counter charge on these Warhounds. I want to get these guys off the field so I can protect my 2 ranged units, and I'll destroy those guys in the charge. You saw that, just how quickly they died, but he's coming in on my Warhounds, and right here he's going to drop a Pit of Shades on me, which is not going to be very good for these poor Spear Herd who are just running into their own deaths. And look at them just getting tossed all about. Definitely not where I want to be, and you can see my Chaos Sorcerer of Death getting in here, just doing some damage, trying to keep these guys in the fight while Doombull gets over here, and you can see he does have his Minotaurs in tow, popping all my abilities in here as I just chase right in there. And oh man, this is probably not the best choice. There's 3 heroes here. My Centaurs with great weapons, even though they've been buffed a ton, are going to not quite kind of be enough to protect Gorbel here, and he's going to start taking a ton of damage. But now that I have my other Minotaurs in there, I'm feeling a little bit more confident. You can see I'm shifting my whole line this way, keeping my Braceman of Death near, popping that Arcane Conduit whenever I can, but you can see Doombull is approaching half health. I've done some good damage on that Exalted Hero, but I believe he had Occam's Mind Razor in there, so definitely terrifying, adding a whole bunch of damage to all of these characters. But I felt like I was in a pretty good spot here. I had Centaurs around this Dragon Lord, but man, with their high mass, look at this, he's just going to kind of pull right out. I bring my Spearman to countercharge, and man, he's just going to get away from my Centaurs. And so that was not a good thing for me. You can see he's dropping, I think, another Pit of Shades, but luckily we've kind of stopped fighting there, so it's only going to get a proportion of my unit. Nice charge there on my Bestigors, but he left them in there just a little too long, and you can see I did a good amount of damage to those Chaos Knights. I did drop a Fate of Buna here, but again, it just didn't do very much damage, and I think it's just the low model count here of these Chaos Knights is protecting them kind of from my Lore of Death spells. You can see Doombull here very hurt as I try and kind of reorganize my lines here. Again, still casting Spirit Leeches, trying to get this guy off the field. My Ungor Raiders here in close support, and he does kind of pick off this terrified Spearman herd that I let die. But you know what, that's okay. I don't really care too much. As long as Doombull made it out of there alive, I'm feeling pretty confident. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to win this. I just need to keep spamming Spirit Leech here at this Chaos Lord, because I feel pretty confident here with this mainline engagement that my Bestigor and my Minotaurs are going to win. So if I can just kind of get this terrifying squad out of, out of the game, then I'm feeling pretty good. And I still have 1 unit of full health Centaurs, and this one didn't take too much damage. But there you can see another Spirit Leech upgraded coming down, so I didn't have to get too close. You can see popping all those Arcane Conduits, and just not doing much damage here to this Chaos Lord. And so what we'll be doing here is, I hate these rocks here in the middle, so I'll be kind of shifting my line over here to kind of have this engagement happen. And I feel like I have the cavalry advantage right now, so I feel like I'm not too worried about his cavalry kind of coming in and getting some free strikes on me. So I'm just going to move over, try and get close enough for some more Spirit Leeches, keep my Gorbel and my Doombull safe, and just kind of push this side. So that I can get some nice clean charges with my Bestigor and my Minotaurs on these like heavily armored units like the Chaos Warriors with great weapons and the Chosen. So you can see here I'm going to be moving up terrifyingly close to these Chaos Knights. I was kind of hoping I would get a free charge in with my Bestigor, but they're just a little too slow. You can see that. And I do start opening fire here on some of these Chaos Marauders, but you can see just not doing too much damage. They do have silver shields, I didn't know that, so definitely not the target I want to be shooting, but any ammo I can use is kind of useful. You can see my Braceman of Death constantly pushing up for extra Spirit Leeches. So there you go. As I just begin, and here you can see I actually cast a Fate of Buna on this Chaos Warrior with great weapons. And look, with 100 models, it's going to start doing a ton of damage. So I really found kind of, the more models here with Fate of Buna, the better, I think, in this mod. And you're going to see just a ton of damage get put down on these guys, which is really, really good for me. because if I can get those guys off the field, oh, and look at this. I don't think he's going to get a counter charge, or he's going to get a counter charge, that, luckily for him. But with that Fate Abuna coming down, I'm going to start just cutting these guys to pieces. You can see already their health dropping by a lot as I kind of force a much smaller engagement. I ignore kind of part of my enemy's line, and I'm going to be bringing some spearmen and some cav over here to kind of prevent them from flanking around. You can see my spearmen are just getting terrified off the field by these heroes, and I'm going to come in here with my healthy Doombull, my Minotaur, my Chaos, my Sorcerer, and be doing some damage. You can see I'm also shooting at him with my Ungor Raiders. So you can see here, my Chaos Marauders, of course the Gore Herd, are tearing them apart, and my Minotaurs here are on Chosen, which is just ideal for them. And here you can see my Centaurs are going to be doing a devastating charge into these Chaos Warriors. They are braced, and some Halberds are near, but I definitely felt like his focus was over here on his hero. You can see his Chaos Sorcerer, Lord of Shadows, is stuck in combat there with Doombull, and that is not where he wants to be. So I figured he would not be paying attention here. So I get a nice cheeky charge. I'm going to immediately pull out. I don't want to stick around there. You can see I do pull back my Bracium of Base, hoping to just get a couple more Spirit Leeches off, because you can see just how low the Chaos Sorcerer is. But you see how quickly those Marauders there lose, which is definitely what I need. And I'm slowly tearing through these Chosen. You can see these Minotaurs just tearing these guys apart. And this is their bread and butter. Heavily armored elite infantry is what they want to kill. So definitely going pretty well for me. And you can see I'm kind of wrapping up this side. These Chaos Knights really don't have any hammer left for their anvil. But on this side it's looking less good. You can see he does have some troops here flanking around, but I'm getting some nice shots in here. But remember, these guys only have 1 armor piercing damage, so really not going to do much. You can see here he did come over here and take out my Bracium of Death. Luckily I used all of his mana, but you know, this stops me from getting any more spells off here. But I am going to try and save him with my Centaurs and my Spears and my Warhounds. You can see these arrows coming off. Finally wrapping up this side, and I'll be pulling these guys into the rest of my main line. My main line is really what is shifting this balance of power in my favor. You can see my Ungor Raiders taking some pot shots. And again, I'm just slowly just putting chaff in against these guys to slow them down, shooting them in the back, and then waiting for the rest of my troops to come in. And you can see these Minotaurs. Oh man, these poor Chaos Warriors with great weapons. This is not what you want to see when you are an armor-piercing infantry. You do not want to see some monstrous infantry coming right at you. This is just going to be a great charge. Just rolling into these guys. Oh man, so good. Sorry we did not get you some more shots of Doombull. Just look at these guys flying, taking a ton of damage already, which is all good with me. Let's see if we can get you some Doombull action here as he kind of is finishing off these Chaos Knights, tearing them apart. He does just a ton of damage, and he has just some amazing abilities. Just cut like I think 3 Chaos Knights there, and look at him all bloody and triumphant as these Chaos Knights flee the battlefield. So definitely a fun hero lord here. Definitely kind of gives the beastmen somebody else to use other than Mortar. And you know, the moment I popped that open, I saw the Doombull, and I had to pick the Doombull. There was really no other choice. So you can see here, Bracium is at 0 kills, but definitely doing a lot. You can see my Gorebull and my Doombull definitely on high value unit duty, so they didn't get a lot of kills. And you can see my Bestigors did very well. My Gore Herd tearing up, and the Centaur. I wonder what that got. Oh, that was the one who killed all the Warhound units. So definitely racking up. You can see an XP Chevron there, and you can see this Minotaur, probably the one up against the Chosen, took almost no damage, and got that XP Chevron from taking out those Chosen. A very valuable unit, only getting 60 kills. Yeah, and you can see my Ungor Spears doing their job, dying, and the Warhounds definitely just kind of pressuring the flanks, stopping things from lifting off, adding poison to kind of help the Centaurs because they don't have the best stats. So definitely good performance from these guys. You can see these Chaos Knights. One of them got 102 kills, definitely doing work. But yeah, you can see these Halberds doing okay. These Chaos Warriors just kind of got shut down. But these Marauders, yeah, just not going to hold up against Doombull or Bestigor Herd. Gore Herd or Bestigor Herd. Blah. And you can see here this dragon getting 72 kills, even though I was focusing on it the entire battle. Definitely a terrifying presence. But anyways, great game, and let me know what you guys think of the Steel Faith Overhaul mod, and if you've ever tried it. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and that's that.